This is Tony Diaz, a Librotraficante, and don't mistake this essay for only a book. And to dramatize the power of community cultural capital as well as cultural acceleration, this book is beginning as a video blog first. I really want to bring home those definitions, but also let you experience firsthand some of the cultural acceleration that's moving at the speed of light here in Houston, Texas, which will become known as one of the centers in the nation that will teach the rest of the country how to promote our literature and culture on our terms. So first, community cultural capital, of course. If you've read some of my other essays, I've got very straightforward definitions for you. One of those would be, these are assets that are anything that are valuable to our community. Could be history, knowledge, art, networks, but also lists of different books, which I'm about to get to. But when I'm giving a course or a class and I want to be a little more down to earth and really give people something to take home with and talk about, I tell them, your mom's recipe for tamales is community cultural capital. One, because you know when people mess it up that it's a violation. Two, you also know that if it gets in the wrong hands, certain entities can wind up exploiting it, watering it down, using it to make money, and then all of a sudden there's a $15 tamale, which is a bad version of what your mom used to make you and doesn't benefit the community. Who knows what else it adds to, maybe gentrification, just to add a little more drama to it. But that's one example of a moment when we don't take charge or ownership of our own cultural capital. And a lot of that's going on under our noses. So one step to alleviate that and prevent that is to get ahead of it and really know our culture in a different way and how it's valuable in a very tangible way. So one type of community cultural capital are these books. So even right here, a lot of great books, a lot of great authors. I want to add two to your lists. And even if that is all we talk about, that's plenty. Two books, two authors. Why I'm Like Tequila, Why I Am Like Tequila by Lupe Mendez, and then Fuego by Leslie Contreras Schwartz. So one, you got lists there. The two great writers to add to your list of books to read. There's a lot more, including some behind me, others that we mentioned on our radio show, etc. But I've really been privileged to have been at Lupe Mendez's MFA thesis defense. Some of the works wind up in here. And never mind the list. You know you need to buy books. You need to make it important. But readings, you get special stories. So even if you never knew the writer beforehand, you go to a reading, get the book signed, you have a story about that to share with family members, whoever you want with. For me, this is a really important family event because, again, I got to be there at Lupe Mendez's thesis defense when he earned his Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. But I also got to be there when Lupe Mendez started at Nuestra Palabra on our stage decades ago. Also, he was at our 21st anniversary showcase right before this came out. And this is the first signed copy when it came out. So no, you can't buy this. However, there's other versions of it as well. So you can imagine what a wonderful night our 21st anniversary was back in April 2019 at the Museum of Fine Arts Houston, packed house. But this sort of genius and really insightfulness, creativity was on display. Great show. But also to have access to that story, to tell you about it right now, is wonderful. I think that's one example of cultural acceleration. Another very cool fact, again, besides the name of the book, Fuego, and some of her other works, Leslie Contreras Schwartz was just named Houston Poet Laureate, which is really powerful because part of the battle for cultural capital are these titles and recognitions. Books are one of them. Making it to lists are another. Being spread out is another one. Diffusion is important too. But then to be named Houston Poet Laureate at someone our own. And also, likewise, I'm blessed to see Leslie read at our readings very early on. Of course, her brother is one of the founding members of Nuestra Palabra. Her family's got a great legacy here in Houston. So just those facts in and of themselves, to know that and to be around that is powerful. But it really is great, too, that she read at our 21st anniversary showcase. Again, you imagine what a brilliant lineup. Those are just two of the writers. If that's where this stopped, that would be potent. On top of it, she will now be the ambassador for poetry and, of course, creative writing and community activism here in Houston, Texas. So I'm proud of Houston for that. I'm proud of Leslie for that. it's such a rich history for Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say. I'm glad you can be a part of it as well. And this is just the tip of the pyramid. There's so much more, but right now, this is going to wind up becoming an essay. I will write more about it, old-fashioned style. Wanted to break into add this to my repertoire of ways to get the information out. And then also, I think the other key part is you'll be hearing about this on our radio show, Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say. So this will be broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Of course, this will also wind up becoming part of the University of Houston digital archives. Once we transmit it, the hard copies will become part of our hard copy collection at the Houston Public Library as well. And guess what? This will wind up in classes. People who are studying PhDs call us and interview us about the Librotraficantes, my work, their work, Nuestra Palabra, our community here in Houston. This is culture acceleration at many layers. Please keep coming back for other forms to disseminate this information. This is the first video blog that I'm entertaining and bringing this out. But don't worry, I still put writing first. I will get to that as well. Look forward to your comments, insights, other suggestions, and I hope you too will spread the word about the word. I'm Tony Diaz. Thank you.